All you gotta do is press play.
Yo, so you want to learn how to do a burst fade? Alright, check this out. What is a burst fade? So a burst fade is no more than a semicircular fade around the ear. Think of it as a half moon. If you can remember that, it will make the process so much easier. Therefore, that initial line that I'm setting with my trimmer is called your initial guideline. That guideline needs to be as tight and as close to the ear as possible so we can attain a better result. From this point forward, we're going to be working with our number 1 guard, lever closed, and we're going to be cutting about an inch or a finger length symmetrically and as even as possible all the way around the ear, like literally all the way around the ear. If you pay close attention, behind the ear I am actually cutting with like the last 3 to 4 teeth from the blade to prevent cutting more than I have to and to keep the fade's natural shape. From the 1 guard, now we slapped on the 1.5 or the 1.5 guard, lever closed, and we're carefully flicking, trying to erase that first line. Remember to keep all of your movements as minimal as possible, and your guideline's very small. This is going to help you keep your blend tight and the top of the fade a lot darker. Here goes the number 2 guard. With the number 2 guard, you're going to flick at the top as soon as you hear the hair crunching. Once you hear that hair crunching, you're going to flick out at the top to prevent cutting any further into that blend. Okay, so now your blending area is created. Now we got to get rid of that bottom line. With your number 0.5 or your half guard, lever open, we're going to slowly erase or lighten that bottom trimmer line that we first created. Now we're going to close that lever. Mind you, you might have to open and close that lever with your number half guard just to get rid of some dark areas and make that blend kind of pop a little bit more. Okay, so here's the tricky part, okay? This is the last part of this fading process. We're gonna get rid of that trimmer line a little bit more, but now we're gonna take that guard off and we're gonna be using our lever open and we're gonna close it and adjust it as we move up, using the corners of the blade to ensure that we actually get rid of that line and that we don't cut or put any more lines into our blend. That's what we're actually trying to prevent, guys. Keep going and close your lever until you completely erase that bottom line. I really enjoy this part of the fading process because I think the most important part of the fade is going to be the blend and how well you can erase the lines that you've initially created. This is where like the real artistry really comes in and separates your fades and your work from everybody else's. Okay, let's pull out our double foil shaver and we're gonna just clean up the bottom of the fade, get rid of that little extra stubbles that stick out, and it's just gonna help the blend kind of pop a little bit more. Alright, so we're going to utilize this technique called Shear Overcomb. With this technique, we're gonna slightly cut layers of hair in volume that are sticking down, and this is going to help the blend look better and also get rid of any weight created by volume. You have to look at a fade from like a different perspective, because a fade is pretty much a graduation of an angle. So it goes from skin at the bottom having no hair, and the hair graduating in an angle, kind of sort of like if you were to invert a triangle. That's how it looks. It's a graduation from small to large, or from little to big, or in this case from light to dark. So here's a little trick that I like to use. Not a lot of barbers do this. Is that I utilize hairspray. I throw some hairspray in the perimeter or the edges, just so I can freeze up the hair, so when I line it up, it lines up a little bit easier and better. For your Ccup, you want to keep it natural. Guys, try not to dip the Ccup in. When you dip that Ccup in, it actually looks bad when it grows in. But quick tip on your Ccup, as you guys see, I'm starting with the corner of the blade. I started with the left corner first, and then I connected it. Keep working on it with that corner until you pretty much achieve a perfect C. Now, that's not with all the clients. Not all clients have a Ccup like this. So like I said, keep it natural. Alright, so with my client, he has bangs. So, you know, before I actually create his edge up, I used a hair gripper to hold his bangs together, just so I can get around his edge and perfect that box a little bit better without affecting the length of his bangs. I don't know if you guys are familiar with enhancements or semi-permanent color. I'm a big, actually huge fan of enhancements in my haircuts. Enhancements are completely optional, and that is to the client's liking. Not all clients like enhancements, and not all barbers use enhancements, so you don't have to use them if you're not used to using them, or if you just don't like them. I prefer to use enhancements. They make my cuts look a lot better, and that's what I'm doing to his edge, so it can pop a lot more. If you choose to use enhancements, don't forget to razor the Ccup as soon as you apply the enhancements, before the enhancements dry on the skin, so you can get a perfect line. Alright, check this out and watch closely. When you use a straight razor, alright, you want to tug the skin. Don't forget to tug the skin. Like, this is gonna help that line look better, and also it's gonna prevent from nicking the client. You don't want to cut the client with your razor, guys. It does happen now. Accidents do happen, okay? But yeah. So on the back side of this haircut, you can edge them either straight across, or you can do a V-shape edge. That's up to the client. Is the client's preference if they want a straight line or if they want you to V it in the back. Either or, they both look dope. So before we finish this haircut, now we're going to edge them up and pretty much connect the sides to the top. Like I said before, this client has bangs, so when you have a client that has bangs, your edge is actually a little bit more complicated, because the hair moves around and it does not stay still. So if he has loose hair like this person, make sure you do it carefully.